Okay, so I just finished my meditation. And basically the other half of it, I wasn't like completely still. I was actually cleaning, but I was still like in my head, like not really focused on what I was doing. I was more like on autopilot while I was anyways, that's how I think is when I'm working fast. So it helps me think because I stop my own personal thoughts. You know what I mean? So when I'm constantly moving, I allow these. Anyways, before I forget. So when I was in my meditative state, I kept hearing the voices in my head of like my parents' voice, and and especially when I was thinking about today because they were really getting at me because I was very disrespectful and I am very ashamed of myself, but I was just so angry, and when I'm mad, like it's hard for me to control myself sometimes still, and especially my mouth when I get to that level where I feel already disrespected and taken advantage of, and then I can see, like, you know what I mean, like they're it's just, it pissed me off. But it is a lesson learned. I am there to learn, and I will act better tomorrow, obviously, because in this meditative state, I was thinking, like, dude, don't, like, be a leader, don't be an op. And then I started thinking, like, that's what I need to be too. Like, I'm over here saying about being a leader, but I'm not even encouraging my own people that I have right now. Like, obviously, I do encourage them in certain areas, but not in the areas where I feel that they need that encouragement a little bit more. So, tomorrow is a good day or a better day or a new day. What the fuck? Okay, so my mouth is just talking whatever it wants. Pero I was also thinking like about the voices of like my parents, back to that. So the voices in my head, like I was listening to my parents' voice when they were getting at me for my behavior, especially with the way I spoke to my manager and how, oh, both my managers, and the energy I was carrying, like my whole demeanor, like I was just like the whole day was just bad, and they chewed my ass. They chewed my ass. I get it. And yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot. Um, but one thing led to another, and then they started telling me like, dude, like we don't lose people when they die. Like they never leave. Like I know it's endless energy, but even when you're thinking like, gosh, I wish I could hear them, like you can if you tune in, because sometimes you would be like, okay, what would they say in this situation, and you could literally hear them in your head. That's because that's exactly what they're telling you. You already know what they're going to say because they're already saying it through you. And it just kind of like moved me, you know what I mean? Like it made me feel close to them. And then like my spirit team was telling me like that's the whole point of, the death process. It's like you see them with your eyes and you hear them, but when they cross over, you still hear them, you just don't see them. And it's only when you stop practicing, when you stop having that faith and that connection with them, is when you literally just stop hearing them. But yeah, they were just basically asking me where was my faith. It was weird. I was like, oh, I, I don't know, trigger words, like everything that has to do with religion, I still get those trigger words, but it's funny when like my spirit team throws them at me too, and I'm just like, but I know like we're balanced and stuff, and I know that they They use a lot of good metaphors too. So, yeah, can't wait to share them with you. I hope it helps anybody out there. So, don't think that we lost a loved one. Like, we still hear them, they're still with us, we still even feel them um, around, even with sounds, with feelings, with their smells, with songs. Like, they send you messages with songs. Like, they're constantly with us. Lights flickering when you're thinking about them and stuff like that. You know your own sons. Each one has their own unique connection with you. So go explore it. All right, let's get a